Markets are crashing, oil soaring, and Trump's Iran decision is shaking everything up. Want to know which stocks are about to explode and how to trade this chaos? Smash the like button and stick with me because I'm dropping the hottest trading plays for this week. Let's get started. So let's dive into all the news, everything that happened in the last 24 hours to 48 hours. It's been a wild one. Iran and Israel conflict now in its second week intensified with fears of U.S. military involvement after Trump called Iran's leader an easy target. Oil prices surged to 77.2 a barrel, up 4% for the week, and we had a final spike towards the end of the trading day. So we see energy stocks like ExxonMobil and Chevron get a lift towards the end of the trading day, and we might even get a spike upwards depending on how all the news happens throughout the week. I will be updating you guys tomorrow, also giving you guys plays for next week, and also giving you guys plays towards the end of this video as well. But tomorrow's video is just going to cover all the news for the overall week because the weekend isn't over yet. But markets did take a hit on Friday with the Dow Jones down 0.08%, S&P 500 off 0.22%, and the Nasdaq dropping 0.51% as traders brace for geopolitical fallout. So we did see Tesla kind of pop a little bit pre-market on a $557 million energy storage deal. But sooner or later, we kind of had some more buyers come in. But shortly after that, we started selling off big time. We kind of filled some gaps back up, sold back down, and kind of just been up and down low key with Tesla. So watch that 325.5 and then that 320 to have a break upwards or break downwards for Tesla overall. I'll be giving you guys some more supports and resistance later on, but that's just some levels to watch for now. But we also seen chip makers as well take a hit. So chip makers like Nvidia slid after the US official push to revoke tech waivers for China, sparking trade tension fears. So look at Nvidia and other chip stocks to the downside because of this. We also seen the VIX volatility index climb 2.6% to $22.17, but honestly kind of sell off a little bit after that as well, but signaling more market jitters. CarMax also jumped 11% pre-market after smashing Q1 earnings with a 1.38 EPS versus 1.17 expected. So keep CarMax on your radar as well. Meanwhile, the Fed's hawkish stance, projecting only 25 basis point cut rates in 2025, kept treasury yields high at 4.44%, pressuring tech. Things to watch for next week, starting Monday. Honestly, I don't know how long, but this one is going to be until the war ends, honestly. But the Iran and Israel conflict, Trump's rhetoric, and potential U.S. military moves are keeping oil volatile. If the U.S. joins Israel or the Strait of Hormuz gets disrupted, oil could hit 85 plus. Mostly energy stocks, but crushing airlines and retailers. Ceasefire talks could tank oil and defense. Fed's hawkish outlook. The Fed's June 18th dot plot forecasting 3.9% rates by the end of 2025, 2 cuts, and Jerome's inflation warnings 3% for 2025 are weighing on growth stocks. Higher yields could hit tech harder, but a dovish Fed minutes Monday might spark a rally. Only 59% expect a September cut, so keep that in mind overall. So U.S. Supreme Court declines to fast-track challenge to Trump tariffs, just mainly between like a toy company. We also have some other news with Trump tariffs. So Trump tariff letters are still expected to come out soon. We haven't gotten them yet, but people are waiting for that as well, potentially targeting autos, chips, or pharma. This could dent Ford, Intel, or Pfizer, but a US and China trade deal could lift Tesla or Apple. Watch True Social for any updates related to the trade. What do we have for next week for the calendar? Some big data points to watch. So economic data, Monday's Empire State Manufacturing Index and Tuesday's retail inventories could move markets. Strong data might fuel inflation fears, while weak numbers could boost rate cut hopes, lifting stocks. So we do got PMI on Monday, existing home sales on Monday. We got some consumer confidence that might move the markets 30 minutes after market opens on Tuesday. We do have Jerome coming out testifying to House Financial Service Committee. Wednesday, new home sales might move the market a little bit. Thursday, we got some trade balance and goods, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, initial jobless claims that can move markets a decent amount. Durable good orders, core durable good orders, GDP, all of that an hour before market opens. And 30 minutes before market opens, we have a speech. And at 30 minutes after market opens, we got pending home sales. Friday, we got consumer sentiment final. This can move the market as well. 30 minutes after market opens, so we got personal income, personal spending, PCE, stuff like that. Mainly PCE an hour before market opens, and that might be able to move the market or show you guys a direction. So keep that in mind overall. So looking at the S&P 500, man, the S&P 500 is at 59.67, but traders are betting on a big drop. S&P skews in the 96th percentile. RBC warns of a 20% slide to 48 to 5,200 if oil or tariffs spike. Volatility is high, so stay nimble in this market. So some other news before we get to some sports and resistance and some plays for next week. Coinbase, Circle, SRM lead stock rally as Trump cheers Genius Act in another dream week for crypto. So crypto kind of just got a great deal, basically once in a lifetime thing, and Coinbase, and we see CRCL spiking because of this. So keep these stocks on your radar, especially for next week to get more room to the upside. CRCL has been doing pretty insane. I've been doing some plays myself. Trump, honestly, man, we're getting 50-50. We're getting some insults to Jerome again. And honestly, another top official joins the call to lower interest rates as well. But we also have another article saying Trump says he may change his mind about firing Jerome. So this might look better for the markets overall. And we do have some good news with Apple. We've seen Apple trading a decent amount. I think we got to like 201 before it closed, which is insane. So look at Apple to the upside. Honestly, right now it's pretty lower price right now, and it's a great time to get into a play. But they're basically trying to buy Perplexity. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically like ChatGPT, and I used it to get some main differences between XAI and then ChatGPT. So if you guys are really interested in it, you guys can pause the video, take a screenshot if you guys want. But these are the differences. But basically, they're looking for companies to buy it. I think we had like Microsoft, some other companies wanting to buy this as well. But Apple is kind of in the lead right now for bidding on this. So we might see Apple get it, and it might improve Apple because right now kind of down right now. Apple kind of been selling off because they're behind with the AI. Companies in China are kind of overtaking them with the AI field. So maybe this can boost Apple stock. And we did see some good price movements for Apple overall. If you're hype about stacking cash and navigating the stock market like a pro, especially with all the global drama popping off, you gotta check out my site, nextgenwealthtips.com. Every day I'm dropping fire stock news, handpicked stock plays, and the best moves to make in the market. Plus, I got exclusive courses to level up your investment game. Whether you're a rookie or a vet, head over to nextgenwealthtips.com. Link in the description below and join the squad that's building wealth the smart way. Don't sleep on this. Let's get that bread. And honestly, man, I posted my first blog kind of giving you guys what to expect for the stock market earlier than the videos come out, and some stock picks to look at and why. So honestly, man, check it out if you guys want. The blog is completely free. It is over here at the creators blog. And honestly, I'm going to be updating you guys daily so that you guys don't miss out on anything. With that being said, the first stock that I really want to look at is AMD, because you can make a decent amount of money off AMD, especially if you see it sell off and then hold that 126 to that 126.5 level. If we can hold that level, you can hold some call options. It's what I've been doing personally, and you guys see like how often it's been working out. Normally sells off to this level and then normally buys back. And luckily, man, yesterday we got up to 132.7. I think I sold at around that 131 level. But honestly, man, if you could scope it out at this level and it doesn't break below that, because honestly, below this level, we do got some gaps to fill to that 124, 122, and 120 level to the downside. So just make sure it doesn't sell off too much, because the downside risk is still pretty big. But if it holds this and starts going up again, you can probably make a decent amount of money off of some plays at around that 126 level. So keep this on your radar, especially unless stocks sell off. Like look at the overall market. If the overall market isn't selling off, you do some decent plays with AMD in general. So keep that on your radar. Another one is Boeing. Boeing has been getting some bad news, and we have been looking pretty bearish. So watch that 197 level. If you can break below this, you might be able to see some more bearish momentum, and or we might get another bounce off of this and go up to the upside once again. You can make some plays to the upside, and then if we break below this and you keep on seeing some momentum, volume, and stuff like that to the downside, you can make a decent downside play. So keep Boeing on your radar to the downside, unless we get good news, and or if you see some bad news, you can definitely play it to the downside after that. Next one on the list is indeed that SPY. Honestly, we did make a major break below that 596 level. And honestly, man, we can either break above it again, maybe retest that 600 level, and or keep on breaking down lower. So first off, man, look at that 594, 592.5, 592, and that 590 level to the downside for the SPY. But if we do break above that 596 again, regain that, look at the 598, 600 level, 601, 602, and 603.5. Above that, look at that 605 and that 610 level for the SPY. Next one is going to be Apple, which honestly broke up a decent amount. And the reason why I'm kind of pumped up for Apple is honestly, we broke some key levels to the upside, especially that 200. Breaking above that 200 makes your stock look a little bit more stronger. But honestly, with the news that is coming out, it might be some short-term news, so we might be going to the downside once again. I just really want to see how it opens up on Monday. I do have some call options on this one, and I bought it really at the lows. And honestly, I honestly just see this as a lucky play, if I'm being honest. because when I got in, it started spiking instantly, and I'm already in the money and deep into the money. And especially like Monday, even if it sells off a little bit, it's still going to be in the money and making a decent amount of money as well. And we might even get like a gap upwards to like that 202 to 203. Maybe if we start looking good with Apple. But honestly, have your patience and you could probably play Apple to the downside, especially if this deal doesn't go through. So keep Apple on your radar, up or down, and then keep news on your radar as well. I'm gonna try to update you guys with shorts on that one. Next one's gonna be Nvidia. We did see a decent break downwards, but I do want to look at that 143.5 level, 143, 142.5, 141.5, and that 140 level for Nvidia. Honestly, if we can break below that 141 level, we might be able to break below that 140. So keep that on your radar for the video. But if we start breaking up, look at that 145.5, 147, and that 150 level for NVIDIA overall. Palantir, man, Palantir has been kind of breaking down a little bit, but honestly, we're not really bearish until we break below that 132.5. If we break below that, we might be able to get some more momentum downwards, and or might just get a bounce off of that. To the upside, look at that 142.8. 144, 145, and that 150 level for Palantir. Have your patience with this one, please. Honestly, just have your patience with the stocks in general and look at the overall certainty. So if we look at Bitcoin overall, honestly, it's making the weekend not look too strong, especially with that big sell-off. And honestly, if we look at oil, or we're just going to look at ExxonMobil, for example, that recent spike upwards towards the end of the trading week, it's not really looking too good for stocks, and we might not have a good opening this week. But with that being said, if Bitcoin does start selling off, look at that 100,000 level, and if we break below that, you could probably see Bitcoin to the downside even more, and or you might see a bounce. We start rallying back up, maybe to that 105 to that 106. A good ticker to look at is IBIT. It's basically an ETF that moves exactly with Bitcoin. And honestly, you can play it both ways, especially if you break below that 100K level. You can play some put options on this, and if you start going back up, play some call options. So keep IBIT on your radar. Another one is going to be Coinbase. We did see Coinbase rally a decent amount, especially with Circle. If you look at Circle, Circle has also bounced up a decent amount. And then the last but not least is going to be MSTR. MSTR isn't really benefiting like Coinbase or Circle, but it moves exactly with Bitcoin. So if you want to do some Bitcoin plays, MSTR is a great one as well. So now the segment that everybody loves, man. What stocks to watch for today? First one is going to be Apple. Honestly, same thing that I said before about Apple, why you should watch it and that good news. You can probably see it to the upside and or start selling off. The cool thing about Apple is that a lot of people, I mean, we've seen this bearish trend right here, but honestly, a lot of people started selling out of Apple because of the bad news. A lot of long-term holders, bigger firms started selling their apples as well. But honestly, if you can get some hype to the upside with Apple overall, like it can become not really a meme stock, but everybody's day trading it, stuff like that, and you see momentum to the upside, maybe even break above that 205. The longer term holders are probably going to load back into Apple because they don't want to miss out neither. So honestly, keep Apple on your radar, especially, man, trading it, day trading it. If we do keep on getting this volume and everything like that, you might be able to make a decent amount of money. Next one is gonna be ExxonMobil. Honestly, man, I like trading puts at that 115. I like trading calls at around that 113 now, and then 111 level for ExxonMobil. So honestly, just look at how oil prices is going in the overall war. If we get peace talks though, your play could get cooked. So I do recommend playing puts, but you can also play calls as well because there's news both ways that could move. There's news both ways that could move it up or down. Next one's gonna be GLD. Not really too many people are loading up on GLD recently, but it is a safe haven, and a lot of big techs is basically buying gold. So having being into this ETF, especially when you're getting a lot of volume, a lot of news coming out, you can make a decent amount of money off GLD. Next one is going to be CRCL Circle. We just talked about it, but basically, man, look at some momentum to the upside. But then we can maybe able to get a sell off as well, especially if you see crypto selling off. Because once it sells off, you might sell off a decent amount, especially if Bitcoin breaks below that 100K level. So keep that on your radar. Next one is going to be AMD. And basically, what I explained towards the beginning of the supports and resistance part, I do recommend looking at AMD. With that being said, though, thanks for watching the video. Thanks. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Let us get to 500 subs. Check out the website below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.